Hi everyone, welcome to my first episode ever. My name is Lin and I'm a designer based in Germany, but currently studying jewelry design in Rome, Italy. So I'm moving back and forth, and currently I'm in Lübeck, my home city, in my work shop, as you can see maybe in the background. And currently there's no one here, so I thought I'd take the time to make a small introduction into my YouTube channel. I wanted to explain in this video why I make jewelry and how I came to make jewelry, and I had this idea of creating my own videos and putting them on YouTube, but I guess I was too scared and always wanted to be perfect, so I pushed it further and further away. But now I'm at one point where I feel like I really want to do it, especially for myself and also other people, so you can follow me along, experience with me the things that I experience, like on day-to-day basis, or just all the mistakes I make and what it takes to create your own jewelry, and what it also means, because there are different things you can do, like different routes you can take. It's not very clear as when I began to make jewelry. I think when I started, I thought it would be very easy to get into it. Actually, not really. When I was younger, I thought it would be very difficult. Then I started and I thought, okay, that's easy. And then I started to develop my skills and realize, okay, it takes more than one person to create a jewelry brand. As I said before, I'm German and I study graphic design around 2017, I think, and finished 21. And since then I was searching for my purpose, kind of like what I wanted to do in the future. And at that time I had a shop with my mom. This shop failed after 7 years. It was a really tough time for us. Like, we had the shop for such a long time, and for one of you who maybe had a shop for yourself, if you do it for such a long time, it's pretty hard to give it up. So you always have, or we always had, the hope that by next year it would be better. And then we waited for one more year, and after 3 years COVID hit. Most of the stores, or almost every store except like the supermarket, were closed for months, so we had no income. And luckily at that time I was studying, so it was not too bad for me, but I pretty much lived below my means in that period. So I moved back to my parents for a while, took a small apartment, or shared with other students, so I could afford it. It was yes, not a very easy time, and I didn't know actually what to do. So during the 7 years, I already started making jewelry, but at that time I didn't know where it was going. So, and I had this dream since I was maybe 10 or something, that one day I will go back to Asia and I will live there forever, kind of like. And that after my studies I finally made the decision to move to Asia. I wanted to experience the culture because I only knew Asia from traveling, but not from actually living there. So when we had our shop, I already started making some jewelry, but with the macrame technique. So it was more like with the garn and some stones, but nothing like with soldering or really working with metal. It was just a little bit. And right before I moved to Vietnam, I bought a torch so I could solder basic stuff, but it was really hard for me without formal training or anything to really get into it. So when I was in Vietnam, I told my mom to look for jewelry school for me, because I couldn't read, or I still can't read the language or properly speak Vietnamese. So she did that for me, and my dad, who still lives in Vietnam, he helped me to apply for the school. And it was a lot of fun, very difficult and tough sometimes, because it was really tough to understand anything. I could only watch what they were doing, but not really understanding what was going on, which was maybe not really necessary, but it would have been nice to ask him why, like how a jewelry piece is made and why is that like that and all this stuff. So it's okay. Then yeah, I lost my passport when I was there, so Vietnam kind of like kicked me out and went back to Germany. I think it was already when I was in Vietnam that I knew I wanted to do something with art. I was really fascinated by the aesthetic and the meaning of all of it, and what really kind of like inspired me or was the realization that I grew up in Asia. I have seen all these statues, the Buddha and everything, but I never really questioned it, and I didn't know the meaning. It's something very familiar for me, but yeah, I never really learned the history in school. Only my mom told me a little bit about it, and I saw some documentaries here and there, but not really what this is all about and why the Chinese New Year is like that big. It was really my first time experiencing Chinese New Year. It's like a huge fest that I didn't know that it existed, and that you would meet like thousands of family members, or that I even have like kind of, I know it's exaggerated, but like many family members. I didn't know I had them. So when I was there and the whole family gathered around, it was a pretty nice experience. After that, I was like, okay, I really like that. I want to try out different things. I bought more books, and I came across this school in Italy, Rome. And since I wanted to keep studying, but I had to go out of the country, I told myself, okay, maybe when I come back to Germany, I will stay in Europe. So maybe school is even better, since they can speak English if I'm going to like an international school. So that's why I was looking, and I found a couple schools in France and Spain and Italy, and I talked to my boyfriend, now my fiance, and we decided to move to Rome, Italy. So around 3 years ago, or 3 years ago, yeah, I decided then to finally make that step. Fast forward, started studying in Rome, Italy. I also started my own jewelry company in 2023, so now it's almost 2 years or 1.5 years, something like this. So yeah, that's how I got into all of this. And to be honest, I also felt like, and it was already since I was young, I love doing something with my hands, either it's knitting or pottery or anything. And jewelry is something that when I was younger, I think I wanted to do it, but I pushed it away because I thought, oh my god, you're working with these really expensive materials and tools, and it looks so complicated. I would never could afford working in that space, and I would never be able to do so. And I always thought I had to be like a doctor or something like that, you know, like more higher paying and stuff. So I never pursued that dream, even though in hindsight I wish I started way earlier than that. So yeah, and jewelry is really just like an expression of everyone. Like there are so many different kinds of jewelry, different styles and tastes, and it's so fascinating because it's really a field you can, like, I think all the arts, you can learn so much. You can make jewelry about your history, you can make jewelry about animals or plants, like literally anything, and many concepts, and use different tools. So, and there are 1,000 ways to make a ring. So that's really interesting for me, and especially since I'm a person who loves to learn and explore and do new things, it's like pretty perfect for me to just make jewelry. And it's like such beautiful small objects. Sometimes if you look at Fabergé or all the big fashion houses like Cartier and stuff, if you really read about their history and how they started, especially Fabergé, I hope I pronounce it correctly, but he's like from Russia, and I think it's in the he lived in the 1800 or the 1700, around that time, and he made these beautiful imperial eggs. And the company is still exist today. They're run by different persons. I think Gemfields bought all the rights, but if I look at them, like, man, I think it takes so much time and so much dedication and craftsmanship to do their work, because I'm looking at them and at their pieces, and I don't quite know yet how they produce or make these things. I think you need to be a very skilled artisan to do something like that. So yes, it's a bit more expensive, but I think it's worth for what you're getting. So I digress. But yeah, so what's the point of this channel? I think it's just to show my journey and how I become a jewelry designer. I already studied jewelry graphic design, so I know quite a little bit maybe, about design and what the principles are. But jewelry design is something completely new to me, so the way you produce things are different than it is in graphic design. So I'm planning to move to Bangkok, so that's in the middle of this year, I think like July 2025. So I'm pretty excited about that because the community there is like, the jewelry community there I think is pretty big. There are many stone cutters, and they even have like a big jewelry center, trade center or something like this. I was there 2 years ago, so yeah, I'm really stoked to go there. But first I will continue my studies in Italy, and yeah, I just want to take you along my journey, see how I grow, what kind of mistakes I make, and what I gain and what I lose. So yeah, hope to see you in the next episode. Bye!